Welcome to Ground Control. The question that I have is, do you do pre-flight checks of your RC aircraft? I'm usually in a hurry when I go out to the field. I live in a very windy area of the country, and so when I get a break in the wind, I've got to load up and I've got to go. So my pre-flight checks pretty much consist of throwing the battery in the aircraft, binding it to the transmitter, and making sure that all the control surfaces work okay. Well, I'm going to start doing post-flight checks of all my aircraft, and you should either do pre-flight checks of your aircraft or post-flight checks of your aircraft, one of the two. And I'll explain to you why. And the reason that I'm choosing to do post-flight checks of my aircraft, not only because I really don't have enough time, if I want to get out and fly, to thoroughly inspect the aircraft, but doing a post-flight check, making sure that your aircraft is ready to go for the next flight. If you find a problem, that also gives you enough time to repair the aircraft so that you will be ready to go flying the next time. But the first one I want to talk about, first, I took both of these planes out. This is the XK Edge A430 stunt plane and the Volantex Super Cub. I took both these planes out to put some battery packs through them 5 or 6 days ago. One of them made it into the air and one of them didn't, but at least I was able to bring both of them back in one piece. And I was lucky that I didn't bring both of them back in pieces. So I'll explain to you now why it's very important to do your pre-flight checks or post-flight checks of your aircraft. I put 3 battery packs through this little XK Edge, and I was testing out a 5x3 prop on this upgrade motor. I had a 40-45 prop on it previously, and it worked great, but I wanted to see if I could get even more speed out of this plane. And I did, but when I checked this plane, after I came back from flying, this horizontal stabilizer here on the left, it has a crack on the top going all the way through the horizontal stabilizer, and I was really hammering this plane hard. I mean, I was in the throttle, going full throttle, making high speed, high G turns, climbs, dives, rolls, loops, etc. So I was really putting a lot of stress on the airframe. I am really lucky that this horizontal stabilizer did not come apart in flight, and I will get a little bit. I'll get a little bit more of a close-up on this horizontal stabilizer here. Let me bring it in closer. Okay, now you should be able to see this. When I put a little downward pressure on that horizontal stabilizer, you see this white crack going all the way across the top. I am really surprised that that didn't come apart in flight the way I was flying this plane. So I got lucky. I was able to bring that home in one piece. And then, let me back out of this for a minute. And then, on my Volantex Super Cub, I wasn't able to get it in the air. I was taking off with this plane the first time, and I have a very short takeoff and landing area that I have where I go flying. And when I pulled back on the elevator, I barely got any lift out of it, and then all of a sudden it dipped the left wing, and I ended up having to ditch this plane in the scrub, and luckily I didn't do any damage to it. But I will show you why that happened here. On this horizontal stabilizer and on the elevator, let me focus this in. The elevator is actually 2 completely separate control surfaces. You see me moving the right side of the elevator up and down, and the left side is not moving at all. Well, there is a little clip that holds these 2 separate control surfaces on this elevator together, a little white plastic clip. And when I was taking off on this plane, the adhesive had let go on the right hand side. So the only part of the elevator that was functional was the left hand side. That wasn't giving me enough elevator authority to pull this plane up off of the ground. I only got about 1.5 feet off of the ground, And because only the left side was working, it was also working like a rudder. Because only the left side was coming up, it was forcing the plane to turn to the left on liftoff. And luckily, this happened on takeoff. It didn't happen in the air while I was flying it. Let me flip this over real quick and focus this in again so that you can see this white clip. But this is going to be a problem for anybody who has one of these Volantex Super Cubs. But you see how that adhesive completely delaminated from the left hand side, and it's actually started to delaminate from the right hand side as well. So I would suggest anyone who has this plane thoroughly check out this clip that holds these two separate control surfaces together for this elevator and reinforce that. I'm going to have to glue both those sides back together. One's completely delaminated and the other one has started. But the fact that I had both of these issues with these two planes and I was still able to bring them home in one piece is just, it's sheer luck. So going forward, I am definitely going to be doing post-flight checks on my aircraft. And by doing a post-flight check on it, like I said, at least I will be able to repair these problems so that they're ready to throw back in the air the next time. But I would suggest that if you're not doing that yet, you think about doing it, because I could have brought both these planes home that day in several pieces. Just sheer luck that I didn't. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to do those checks on those aircraft. And we'll see you out at the field. Thanks.